The plot around the Flamingo Estate situation hath thickened. So for well over a year, it has been well known that Meghan Markle was copying Flamingo Estate in great part for her own brand as ever. And we already knew that she tried and failed to collaborate with Flamingo Estate in some way, shape, or form. But more has come to light recently. And there's even some juicy gossip. But before we get into that, I would like to invite you to click subscribe if you would like to, and you won't miss upcoming videos, and click the like button and hype button, but only if you want. So let's begin with a brief recap. The Meg wasn't just trying to invest or do a collaboration with Flamingo Estate. No, she was trying to initiate a partnership with Flamingo Estate. And it all began prior to 2022, when there were Flamingo Estate products spotted in their home, things on display in their home. And so Meghan was trying to woo the brand by being like, look, I'm a fan and I have this positioned. Product placement, you guys. So then that same year, she had multiple meetings with Flamingo Estate and their founder, Richard Christensen. And from the sound of it, it seems very much like a one-sided pursuit. Similar to a lot of other things we've seen with Meghan Markle, but especially like the Balenciaga show, it was a one-sided degree of interest here. But she was, according to some sources close to the situation, she was aggressively, persistently pushing to become an active partner, pestering for meetings, pestering to see more, pestering to get answers on whether she would be able to land this deal. And so we can infer that it would entail some degree of investment from her and some degree of responsibility around perhaps a line, an exclusive line within Flamingo Estate, or curating a collection. Something of that nature. And as a potential investor, she was given access to detailed, intimate knowledge of the company's business operations, which is typical for potential investors so that they're not, going in blind in any way, shape, or form. But she got to see things like sourcing, financial figures like overhead and profits, production and manufacturing details, and other connections. And Flamingo Estate is rather high-end, certainly more expensive and exclusive than the Meg's brand, that's for sure. And remember, we've talked about this before, but it's worth the recap, throwing into the recap here. One of the things that Flamingo Estate does is celebrities who have gardens, they will have like a beehive there, and it makes honey. And Flamingo Estate, will sell the bottled honey from a celebrity's gardens and bees, and then the profits and proceeds go directly to a charity of that celebrity's choosing. So like there was Will Ferrell, Tiffany Haddish, and others. And it's kind of marketed like, ooh, this honey is from Will Ferrell's bees who, get to snack on these types of flowers. And this is from Tiffany Haddish's garden where there's lots and lots of lavender or whatever. But the key is that overpriced honey goes straight to charity. It's a charitable thing. And then their regular goods are obviously just like regular merchandise that have much higher profit margins than the Meg will ever see with her silly little products, sourced from far less luxurious manufacturers. So her delusion has been seriously profound, thinking that As Ever could be just like Flamingo Estate. I don't know how she ever thought that. But knowing that she saw the inner workings of Flamingo Estate is very insightful in how she thought that she could spin As Ever into something, anything, and how she's failed. I mean, Flamingo Estate, if I were them, I'd feel violated. They must feel a little bit violated that she saw all this information and then went and just kind of like made her own. But ultimately, they decided not to do business with the Meg, not the other way around, because duh. But also, sources at the time said that the company did not want to take their business in that direction at all. So they didn't like Meghan's vision, simply put, or they didn't care for Meghan herself. Probably both, maybe both. Maybe they even recognized that she would be a toxic person to be associated with, who knows. But shortly after this fell through, she slapdashed American Riviera Orchard Montecito out into the world, and she was immediately accused of copying Flamingo Estate due to excessive similarities in design and concept. And then now, like a year later, it was rebranded to As Ever, but whatever. There are clear differences between Flamingo Estate and the Meg's brand. Like, obviously, there are lots of differences. Flamingo Estate is more classy, upscale. Some even say they have a great, quiet, luxury aesthetic. But above all, they're reputed to be quality. And at higher price points, they should be. A jam that's $80 should be the best jam you've ever had. But the Meg's products are cheap. In terms of the product, it's cheap, and then it's upcharged a lot. They are poor quality, and they feel like knockoffs. They're not luxurious, and her jam is not even jam. It's spread. It's liquid spread. Okay, gross. And it's like $15, which is way overpriced for the quality. It doesn't even have organic ingredients, I don't think, and her name is a disservice to the brand, and her meddling in their the advertising of it as ever and the rollout of it, and just, it's tiresome. There's always at least her hand peeking through somewhere, and it's not helping the brand, that's for sure. And now, as her brand is failing to sell inventory and she has lifted significantly from Flamingo Estate concept, Flamingo Estate, have gone on and collaborated with 2 people, and these collaborations are a massive slap in the face to the Meg. Flamingo Estate collaborated with none other than Pamela Anderson, who is another person who Meghan seems to have copied. Her With Love Meghan show seems to be a very poor copy, some say a Temu version, of Pamela Anderson's show. And now Pamela Anderson has a limited edition line with Flamingo Estate. It's Pamela's Pickles, and they're like spicy pickles or something like that. And once again, it's an all proceeds go to charity product. See, this is what actual famous people do. They don't need to peddle food goods for profit. They just make it for a charity thing. It gives them a little bit of publicity and exposure. It's a nice thing to do, to lend their name to something like that. It can result in opening up doors for for-profit opportunities, but even if it doesn't, it's normal to have something like that be a for charity situation. It's not normal for it to be a for-profit the way Meghan does. That's not normal. Anyway, they also collaborated with King Charles in an awesome product range that is also a for charity, not for profit, that includes Burberry too. And it aimed to celebrate a shared value of environmentalism and commitments to sustainability across these 3 groups. And guests at the launch event participated in activities that reflected the shared values of gardening and nature, including honey tasting with a beekeeper, a class in Japanese flower arranging ikebana, and making soaps and botanical shower steamers using harvested botanicals from the estate's orchard and gardens. Sounds a little bit like Meghan's template for some of her With Love Meghan shows. Wonder how she got those ideas. Richard Christensen, founder of Flamingo Estate, expressed his deep admiration for King Charles's long-standing commitment to environmentalism and sustainability, viewing the collaboration as a meaningful partnership between those who share a love for heritage, nature, and design. The collaboration also involved British artist Helen de Bullock, who created artwork for the collection and participated in drawing sessions at the Highgrove Gardens. So not only did the Meg get rejected by Flamingo Estate, she got upstaged in every way. It's almost like they recognized it's better to associate with real royals and real celebrities with established success and positive track records rather than get sucked under by the Meg and her grifting ways. These recent moves by Flamingo Estate are rumored to have infuriated the Meg and left her feeling humiliated and frustrated. It's almost like they wanted actual talent. They wanted people with positive name value and established track records. It's crazy, I know. But Meghan's recent drop of overpriced candles and other nonsense are clearly another step towards Flamingo Estate with their higher price point, trying to inch her brand a little bit closer to that and lift her profit margins some degree, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think people are willing to pay $68 for some of her stupid candles or $90 for the wine, especially when you have to buy 3. I mean, it's just crazy. And we, like I've said before, we are not seeing people talk about Meghan's products. The buzz is dead. Nobody cares anymore. She would have been smart to have done a more affordable set of candles or something of that nature for the holiday season, because she seems to think the teens are who will be buying her loose spread and candles and keeping the jars as keepsakes to put their pens in. That's what Meghan thinks. They're not going to buy multiple $60 packs of candles. They can't even buy wine. So her business vision is just insanely out of touch and confusing. It's hard to follow. But leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye.